April. I'm sorry. Joseph says he was.
Not hearing it.
Call the meeting to order with a prayer. Almighty God, we ask for your guidance and direction as we come together to meet. Grant us the strength to manage the challenges ahead and the wisdom to identify these as opportunities as we strive to serve the citizens of Crescent Springs.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Patrick Hackett.
Here.
Chad Longbonds. Jim McMonigle.
Here.
Christy Arlinghouse.
Here.
Vince Albanese.
Here.
Bob Mueller.
Here. Okay. Next item is approval of minutes from November the 11th, council meeting.
Make a motion to approve November 11th minutes.
Pat's made a motion.
I'll second that.
Vince second.
Second.
Patrick Hackett.
Yes.
Jim McMonigle.
No.
Christy Arlinghouse.
Yes.
Vince Albanese.
Yes.
Bob Mueller.
Yes.
I think what Mr. McDonald was trying to say is he was here at the last meeting and voted to approve the minutes, and we only showed 4 votes. So,
Not that it's a huge deal, just like it says that I was there, which I was, and then my name isn't listed for any of the
Yes,
votes.
so, and I don't specifically recall, to be honest, but it's not like us to miss a vote, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I will review it
As
and
a-
make the correction. Okay?
And we want that done before you go home. We're gonna get you some.
Quit picking on her.
Fire
She made her
authority
first
report,
mistake
Jeff.
last week.
Good evening. Your report should have gone out. Fire runs are 44 for the month, 576 year to date, and that's up from 11 from last year. 91 ambulance calls, 965 year to date, and that's up 54. We did have a couple structure fires. We were able to keep it to minimal damage. One thing I will report that our use of Narcan, so the heroin problem has gone way down. Now that I say that, it will probably reoccur, but kudos to the police department for cracking down on the heroin because it has really been obvious.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job. So have you guys. Thank you.
Any questions?
One question I've got, the request for,
Right.
has already gone out.
So it went out. I met with, it was mandatory that anybody that bid on it be at the firehouse today. 8 firms were there.
Okay.
We walked through the firehouse. One comment was maybe some people should sleep in these beds and eat in this kitchen, and then they would change their minds. So I think everybody's been through the firehouse, so they know what condition it's in. So it speaks for itself.
Yep.
So
Good.
okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next item is the police report. Brian, chief.
Alrighty, we've had over the last month 1,199 calls for service, crimes 16 total crimes, collisions 28, citations 82, courtesy notices 76. Of the crimes, 2 were burglaries, 5 were larcenies, the rest of them were misdemeanor or traffic offenses of that nature. 96% closure rate on our cases. Your accidents, Anderson again, Buttermilk again won the race, followed by 75 and then Anderson. Buttermilk had 15, the rest had 4. The dog is doing very well. Like I said, we have been cracking down on the drugs. I think we're averaging about a drug arrest a night. The dog is, if you notice in the canine report, the dog's utilized probably almost 50% of the time for drug searches. So it's an asset. We're making a dent, I think. Knock on wood again. But we'll concentrate on the areas we know that are heaviest, trying to eliminate the problem, so it looks like we might.
Looks like
be
it's
doing
working.
it. We might be doing it.
Yeah.
Shop with a Cop is Wednesday. I think we're back at the firehouse around 5, is that correct, April?
I have no idea.
5 o'clock or so. It's a good time if you get a chance, stop by, watch all the less kids that don't have a Christmas have a Christmas. It's a good time. Other than that, any questions?
We had some vandalism in the park. Could
We
you talk
did.
about that?
We did. I put an overtime detail and it stopped it.
How much damage was done? April said in passing that some the wires were cut.
Madam, would you like to?
We had some in the park at the entrance, some wires were cut on one of the trees going up. We had some lights taken off the backside by the gazebo, taken off and taken down and thrown over the top of the gazebo. We had to get up there, take it all back down and get it set up again for Christmas in the park. And actually, they were trying to pull some of the lights out of the trees. That's why I called Chief the next day and said, hey, is there a possible way you can get a unit up here to kind of protect the things for Christmas in the park so we could have a good turnout?
Am I mistaken that some hay bales were
The night
set
before,
afire?
some hay bales got lit on fire too.
Most likely juveniles, but we put an overtime detail in the park,
It's okay.
6 to 6, and it didn't have any problems. There's cameras up there, but I don't have access to them, so.
I don't really have that. Is that because Erlanger wanted you to?
We're
No.
working on that. to get,
You shouldn't get him
access
access.
to
Yeah, we just need access to them, we put them on cruisers.
Okay.
But, yeah, we did, we tried it, we get anybody, we catch anybody on it, we'll prosecute them for us down. We'll take
You
care
know,
of it.
I live near the park.
Mhm.
And not often, but there are times, like on the weekend, you'll hear at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning screaming and hollering. Do you want me to call then?
Call anytime. I always tell everybody, you call us anytime you hear something. We'll come out.
I'll be calling, but
That's
don't come knocking on my door because I'll go back to sleep.
We'll call. I tell everybody, if you see something you think we need to respond to, call us.
I mean,
And we will
sometimes,
respond.
you just hear kids running through the park yelling.
Yeah, call us and we'll go out there, we'll go look for them, they're in the park, we'll take them home, cite their parents, take them for the curfew, take them for being in the park trespassing, we'll do whatever we have to do.
Okay. I'll be calling you.
Yes,
I had one. I was just curious on the incident reports what TX stands for.
it's a phone call. Yeah, just, this means they wanted us to call, or they had a call for us, and so, they mark it down as TX.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Did you ever get the portable speed signs in?
Portable seats, portable seats,
Yep.
Yeah.
so portable speed signs are,
They're
yes.
not simple.
And we'll go this week sometime and fix that one sign that's,
Yeah.
and we also got our radar trailer in, and
Okay.
actually have used it, so.
Okay, so it's the radar trailer is in, good.
Yeah, we've used it several times.
Traffic on Rosewood has slowed down. I have noticed that.
That's what that sign's there to do.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
And then, now, after about a month, we're gonna start running radar there, and we'll start writing tickets. That's what we do, we give you a month to figure it out, and once you haven't figured it out, then we'll give you a ticket to figure it out. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yep. Okay.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Thank you.
Okay. Public Works, Adam, you have anything?
Like I said, speed limit signs, or speed control signs, we got all of them up, running. Again, we're gonna get with the chief to make sure some of the brightness and all that
Yeah.
are on them. Christmas in the park went off, thankfully with the police again with the hitch, and everything else is going well at the Public Works Department. With Dewey being off, we've kept in contact with him, but we're trucking along and doing things.
Doing a good job.
getting things
Doing a
done.
good job.
I have a follow-up from the caucus meeting, and I mentioned that the streets had not been cleaned. Have we made arrangements with Florence yet?
I'm looking into it. That's one
Okay.
of was going to be one of my
Probably not till
topics right
spring.
off the bat.
Oh, not till spring. God, some of the streets are a mess.
It can't be easy with Dewey out, so good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, here, I was thinking that since he's doing such a good job, we might get rid of Dewey.
No.
Sending this tape.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Doug.
City Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few talking points. First thing is the street cleaner. I did a little research on that. I was recently at a meeting, and Fort Mitchell and Edgewood over the past few years did partner together on purchasing a street cleaner. They actually contract out to a neighboring city, but at this time they don't want to add any other cities to their contract.
We used Florence in the past.
And that's what I was going to get at, that I'm going to get with Florence to obviously see if that's still possible. And there's also another lead I had through Angela Cook from SD1 that she has a possible idea for street sweeper that the city could utilize. So we have two options. And then my last point, and it was kind of talked about at a recent administrative meeting I was at, you know, the idea of partnering with other cities within Kenton County. There are some other cities apparently that are looking at the idea of partnering with each other to purchase this equipment. And obviously we all know sharing equipment within each boundary with all the cities helps each city out significantly. I just wanted to see if Mayor, Council, you guys wanted me to research the idea and see what I come up with.
Yeah, for now.
Yes.
Are there companies that you could hire to do it?
There are.
Yeah.
So you would pay them when you need them?
Yeah.
Well, I think the arrangement we had with Florence was a pretty good deal.
Was
They
it?
did it on a Saturday and a Sunday, and I think they did they do it once or twice a year? I think it's just once.
It's not been done while I've been here.
Oh, it was,
Yeah, it hasn't been
Wasn't
done
that-
for a while.
I don't know
Really?
it now.
It's been about 4 years apparently.
Jeez.
I'll call them
Okay.
tomorrow, and then I'll let everybody know when I find out. And then the private idea is obviously also a possibility of contracting out, so. And Mrs. Cook might have an idea with that SD1, which could benefit us. Buttermilk LED light project. George and I have been working on this. Obviously, we have budgeted for this for 2 years now. There's been a definite delay. At a recent meeting, I received a new contact. His name's Brandon. Spelt that wrong. Brandon Sider. He's with District 6. I was told I could obviously reach out to him, that he might be able to expedite the permit process where we're having the delay at for these lights to go in. So cross your fingers that hopefully I make some leeway by the beginning of the year and we can get moving on that project itself. Next topic, Firehouse Committee process update. Mr. Hackett beat me to the punch, but like the chief said, the RFPs have been finalized and sent out. I said the pre-bid meeting was going to take place soon, but obviously it did today, which is great. We're going to give this process 90 days, which is right around March, where we will sit down as a committee to review the bids. The Buttermilk and Collins traffic light project. We had to close the books on this to finalize it and move on. However, recently KYTC completed the video inspection of the storm culvert near the City of Crescent Springs sign corner. The inspection ended up being limited in scope. Obviously, there's significant buildup of leaves, road grit, etc., to the point where, you know, trying to get a camera, it can only go in about 5 feet. The pipe is actually 48 inches long, and if you turn your page, it did show visible signs of corrosion and root infiltration in the pipe, and a section where the top of the pipe is crushed in. There was no direct signs of anything going on with the sinkhole, no mud buildup downstream, etc. It's hard to say how long this has been taking place, but it's pretty safe to say that it took place prior to the actual project itself. Remedies are thorough cleaning of the culvert or possibility of a full replacement. And obviously this is a state-maintained culvert in our city limits. So if anything were to take place down the road, I would be working with them to come up with a solution for the problem. And lastly, Christmas in the park. I just wanted to say thank you to a few groups. Number one, our Crescent Springs Events and Recreation Committee, Christy, April, and Lori. Behind the scenes, all the work you did, which is a lot, along with Villa Hills Events and Recreation Committee. Adam, Public Works, you guys did a bang-up job, along with Villa Hills Assistant, which was great to have that teamwork. Chief, thank you for the police department. The way you guys set that up, safety-wise, for vehicle traffic, pedestrian traffic is awesome. And thank you again for having somebody sit overnight. That was a big help. And lastly, I just want to congratulate Tanya Miller with Public Works. The mayor and I went to a luncheon last week where Tanya received her certification for Road Scholar. It took her about 2 years. However, she accomplished it, and it was a nice luncheon and a nice ceremony. We did get some pictures, and we're going to try to put that on Facebook and maybe website and maybe the next newsletter. But I think she's going to move on to her next certification with, is it Road Master? Road Masters. So she's excited about doing that. So, and that's all I have. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer them for you.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Next item is Mayor's Report. I don't really have anything, so at this time, Carol McGowan.
My name is Carol McGowan. I live at 2264 Ed and Dairy Drive. Two different topics. First one being, I live in Emerald Springs and we don't get any road service. And I'm wondering, what can we do about that? Can we get some kind of tax rebate? We pay the taxes like everybody else. We don't get road repair, we don't get snow removal or pushing any salt out. And that would be one question that I have. Changing the subject, everybody knows those apartments have been a pain in my rear end. The back building is larger, so I'm guessing this might be a question for whoever's on that committee, or Mike, you've looked into some of that stuff for me. The back building is larger, and it's amazing that it's the back building that's hidden a little bit. Was it in the original plans that it was larger?
I believe it was. Yeah, that's going to be apartments, I think.
I think it's all apartments.
Yeah, I can look. Yeah.
It's all apartments, yeah. And then the second question that I have, I was told a couple of different times that these apartments were supposed to be reaching out to vets. That's what I was told. It's on record somewhere, isn't it?
That's correct.
She's saying no, and you're saying yes.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
I thought it was, the development company was owned by a vet and they would give preference to vets.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it was presented to us.
I'd like to know how they reach out to
I think the
vets.
procedure is they're opened to the idea of veterans that have served, of them coming to the apartments. I don't know necessarily if they actually specifically reach out to them with different
And they
avenues.
They obviously don't advertise.
But I can find that out. But
At this stage, they're not ready to have anybody come in anyway.
There's a sign up that they're leasing.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't say anything about vets.
Yeah, I don't know what their procedure is, but that's the way it was proposed, that it isn't just strictly for vets.
I get that. It was open to everybody,
Right.
but I hate to see a bill of goods sold to our city that, oh, we're gonna reach out to vets, and it just sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's what they're not really doing it. That's what my concern is.
Okay.
There you go. That's
Okay,
my
we'll
questions.
look into it and
All
see
right,
what we
thank
can
you.
do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is old business. No old business. New business. Municipal Order 2019-10, appointing Tony Hester to the Board of Adjustments.
Municipal Order 2019-10, municipal order of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, authorizing the appointment of Tony Hester to the Board of Adjustments. Whereas a vacancy exists on the Board of Adjustments, and whereas the mayor wishes to appoint Tony Hester to the Board of Adjustments, now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and the legislative body of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, as follows. Section 1. The mayor hereby appoints Tony Hester to serve as a member to the Board of Adjustment and have the authority as required by statute or contractual obligation to the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, and said appointment is hereby approved, and the mayor, by his signature, does hereby appoint Tony Hester to the Board of Adjustment. To the extent required by law, the council of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky does hereby approve the appointment of Tony Hester to serve on the Board of Adjustment for a term ending December 31st, 2022. Section 2, the appointment approved herein is for the unexpired term to expire on December 31st, 2022, and shall continue until the successor is thereafter appointed and or approved. Non-elected officers shall continue unless removed as provided in KRS 83A.080. Section 3, the foregoing member has such duties, obligations, rights, and privileges as provided by ordinance and the laws of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the United States of America, and as provided by contracts requiring city participation. Need a motion, first and second.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Tony Hester to the Board of Adjustments.
I'll second it.
Christie made a motion, Pat second.
Jim McMonigle,
Abstain.
Christie Arlinghouse.
Yes.
Vince Albanese.
Yes.
Bob Mueller,
Yes.
Patrick Hackett.
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Next item is Municipal Order 2019-11, designation of council committee.
Municipal Order 2019-11, designation of council committees of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky. Be it ordained by the mayor and the legislative body of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. The council of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky does hereby establish the following council committees to advise the full council in the operation of its legislative duties is provided by statute. Further, the members of the council and citizen representatives are appointed to the respective committees as follows. The Economic Development Committee, Patrick Hackett, Chairman, Lou Hartfield, Mike Baker, Greg Sketch, Bob Mueller, Chad Longbones, and George Ripperger. Finance, Nick Bensbach, Chairman, Patrick Hackett, Bob Flattery, Lori Matthews, and April Robinson. Events and Recreation Committee, April Robinson, Chair, Christie Arlinghouse, and Lori Matthews. New Firehouse Committee, joint with Villa Hills, George Ripperger and Greg Sketch, and Mike Daly. Finance Committee for Firehouse, Nick Bansbach, Chair, Patrick Hackett, and Matthew Zeck as an alternate. Section 2. The committee appointments herein approved and or made shall be for the year 2020 for the purpose of advising council in the operation of its legislative duties. Official action on behalf of the city can only be taken by city council as a whole. Neither the respective committees nor individual committee members may act on behalf of the city without council approval.
Okay, need a motion for Municipal Order 2019-11, designation of council committee.
Make a motion that we pass Municipal Order 2019-11.
Pat's made a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Joel?
I'll take it.
All right,
Did.
Joel second.
Patrick Hackett,
Yes.
Jim McMonigle.
Yes.
Christie Arlinghouse.
Yes.
Vince Albanese.
Yes.
Bob Mueller,
Yes.
Next item, Municipal Order 2019-12, appointment of non-elected city officers and members of city boards.
Appointment of non-elected, excuse me, Municipal Order 2019-12, appointment of non-elected city officers and members of city boards and authorities of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky. Be ordered by the mayor and the legislative body of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. Appointment by the mayor of the following persons to serve as officers or members of boards in various authorities as required by statute or contractual obligation by the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, as hereinafter set forth, is hereby approved. And the mayor, by his signature hereto, does hereby appoint said persons to the offices as indicated. To the extent required by law, the council of the city of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, does hereby approve the persons to serve in offices, boards, and authorities as hereinafter provided in this order. Council Chair is Christy Arlinghouse. Crescent Springs Villa Fire Authority, Vince Albanese, Sue Cassidy, and Chad Longbones. PDS Planning Council, Joel McGonigal as a delegate, Lou Hartfield as an alternate. NKMGL, Chad Longbones as the delegate, and Lou Hartfield as the alternate. Board of Adjustment, Gary Smith, Greg Garcia, and Tony Hester. Kenton County P&Z Commission, Greg Sketch. Municipal Tree Commission, Phil Rachel, John Garrett, Shirley Hartfield, Don Fleming, and Chad Longbones. Stormwater Representative, Mike Daly. ABC Administrator, April Robinson. Villa Hill Safety Committee, Robert Mueller and Mike Daly. Excuse me. Section 2. The appointments herein approved and/or made shall be for the year 2020, or for the term provided by statute or contract, and shall continue until the successor of each appointee is thereafter appointed and/or approved. Non-elected city officers shall continue unless removed as provided in KRS 83A.080. Section 3. The foregoing officials or members shall have such duties, obligations, rights, and privileges as provided by ordinances and laws of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the United States of America, and as provided by contracts requiring city participation.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Vince made a motion.
I'll second.
Bob?
Patrick Hackett,
Yes.
Jay McMonigal,
Yes.
Christie Arlinghouse.
Yes.
Vince Albanese.
Yes.
Bob Mueller.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next item, ordinance 2019-12, amending the text of the MLU2, MC, and NSC zones.
Ordinance number 2019-12, an ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, amending the text of the Crescent Springs zoning ordinance regarding the MLU2 and MC zones to allow nutritional or herbal supplemental sales as a permitted use, and allowing individual businesses within a shopping complex within the NSC and MC zones to each have a wall sign. Whereas the city has made application to the Kenton County Planning Commission to amend the text amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky to 1, allow nutritional or herbal supplemental sales as an additional permitted use within the MLU2 and MC zones, and 2, allow individual businesses within a shopping complex within the NSC and MC zones to each have a wall sign. And whereas the Kenton County Planning Commission adopted the text amendment authorizing these uses in PC 1910-0005, and whereas the City Council of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky has reviewed the report of KCPC and determined that nutritional or herbal supplemental sales should be allowed as a permitted use within the MLU2 and MC zones, and further, that individual businesses within a shopping complex within the NSC and MC zones should each be allowed a sign. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, that the Crescent Springs zoning ordinance is hereby amended in its text to 1, allow nutritional or herbal supplemental sales as a permitted use within the MLU2 and MC zones, and 2, allow individual businesses within a shopping complex within the NSC and MC zones to each have a wall sign.
Okay,
It's the first reading.
right. Next ordinance, 2019-13, amending the city's tax ordinance.
Ordinance number 2019-13. An ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, amending the city's tax ordinances to amend the due date for the payment of taxes and to clarify the amounts to be paid for delinquent taxes. Be it ordained by the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, Section 1, Ordinance 1987-18 and Section 95.05 of the Crescent Springs Code is hereby amended to reflect that the tax imposed shall become due and payable on October 1 of each calendar year, and shall be declared and marked delinquent if unpaid by October 31st of each calendar year. Section 2, Ordinance 1987-18 is hereby amended, and Section 95.06 of the Crescent Springs Code is hereby amended to reflect that when a tax bill becomes delinquent, Each tax bill shall be endorsed by the city clerk on November 1 of each calendar year as delinquent, and the city clerk shall thereupon proceed to attach to each delinquent tax bill a one-time penalty of 10%, and interest thereafter shall accrue at the rate of 1% per month or 12% per annum from the date each tax bill shall have become delinquent until paid. Section 3. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are to the extent of such conflict hereby repealed. This ordinance shall become effective from its passage and publication according to law.
Okay. 12:13 is the city Christmas dinner. 12:18, the next finance meeting. 12:23 is council, it's been canceled. Never mind.
Thank you.
Yeah. And 12:24 and 25, 31st and 1st of January, the office is closed. With that,
I make a motion.
I second.
anybody have anything they wanted to say? Okay.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.